And we start our highlights with Oscar Smith taking on the Landstown Eagles. Oscar Smith looking for their 10th victory of the season. If they were able to accomplish that, it would be the 7th consecutive season they've won 10 games or more. And the Eagles out of the Beach District looking for the huge upset over the Oscar Smith Tigers. But early on, it would be J.C. Coleman making the catch out of the backfield. Breaks off a couple tacklers inside Landstown territory down to the 10-yard line. And that would set up this as J.J. Williamson hands off to Coleman, and Coleman scores from a yard out, the touchdown run. And the early score goes to the Tigers, now 7-0 over the Eagles. Larry Joshua, the quarterback for Landstown, trying to make something happen. Stuck in the grass, just heaves the ball up, a hope and a prayer, and it's answered. Unfortunately, it's answered by Mylan Bluford for the Tigers. And with the turnover, Oscar Smith would look to take advantage. As the Tigers offense led by quarterback J.J. Williamson, Coxon fires and looks toward the end zone, but it's going to be picked off by Ronald Henderson, and Henderson makes a huge play for the Eagles, returning the interception out of the end zone and momentarily giving the Eagles a new hope of life. Now it would be the Landstown offense would have to make something happen as Larry Joshua, under pressure, tries to avoid the sack, is going to look to do it himself inside the 20-yard line and tackled out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Would set up a 4th down, and Jordan Broadnex would take the carry, and Broadnex is going to lose major yardage, and the 4th down stand provided by the Tigers gives possession back over to Oscar Smith. And it wouldn't take long for the Tigers to put more points on the board as J.C. Coleman would score the touchdown from 92 yards out. You're not going to catch him, one of the fastest players in the area, scoring for the Tigers once again. As Landstown finds themselves in a deep hole still in the first quarter, trailing 14-0. Now J.J. Williamson again through the air, looking toward the end zone, and the pass is going to be caught for the touchdown as the Eagles defense once again gives up points. This time the score brought in by Marquis Mays. Mays with the touchdown catch as Williamson would find the end zone. 21-0 now the score going into the second half. Williamson again delivers the ball, looking for the end zone, and it's a catch and a touchdown for Quinta Funderburk as he scores the touchdown for the Tigers. Now 28-0 your score as the Tigers with the 28-point advantage in the third quarter over the Eagles. Landstown just trying to make something happen on offense as Larry Joshua seems to have an apparent touchdown for the Eagles on 2nd down and goal. As you see, the referee's coming in, and unfortunately it would be a penalty flag against the Eagles. That would back them up 5 yards. The Landstown offense, again, self-destructing at the worst possible time. The handoff goes to Jordan Broadnex, and Broadnex stood up by the Oscar Smith defense, looking to pitch that shutout. 28-0 the score now into the fourth quarter. As Landstown, one last chance on offense. Larry Joshua, as he was for most of the night, harassed into a poor pass. The defense for Oscar Smith unrelenting, and J.C. Coleman unabashed, untouched, and in the clear toward the end zone. His second 90-plus yard touchdown run of the game. 14 carries, 238 yards, 3 touchdowns for the junior J.C. Coleman. 448 total yards of offense for the Tigers on this evening, as they would go 5 of 6 on 4th downs as well. Landstown trailing now 35-0 as the final seconds will be ticked off the clock. The Eagles fall to the Tigers, and Oscar Smith wins for the 51st time in their last 54 games, including 48 straight wins in the region. J.J. Williamson, 9 of 16, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Broadnex, 15 carries and 64 yards in a losing effort for the Eagles.